Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
What is up, friends? Good morning and greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural and nutritional roads to your vitality, to your health, to your well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 27 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system is always a healing system. It is always a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, we want to hear from you on The Bright Side. Our number is 855-660-4261. If you have questions about the longevity products, comments, success stories that you'd like to share, if you have questions about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine or ingredients or any formulations or any skincare products, we want to hear from you at 855-660-4261. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products, the products I talk about, recommend, the ones I use, you can head over to brightsideben.com and pull down on our shopping cart, or you can call the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470, and ask them about joining the team, joining the Brightside Ben team, and helping me in my mission to spread the word about the power of a good nutritional supplement program. You can get your products at the wholesale price for a one-time $10 fee. Get your products at the wholesale price. You can start a business. You can make some money selling longevity products, and you can enjoy all the tax benefits associated with having your own business. You can write off your mileage, your home office, stamps, samples. Heck, you can write off your products if you give enough away as samples, and you can find out all about it by calling the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470 or clicking on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com. Also want to remind you to check out my blog, pharmacistben.com, which we update regularly with news stories as well as blog posts. Got a post coming up there, hopefully today, about grains and about the chemicals that are being, that Subway just, maybe you heard about this, Subway just took out dough softener, among other nasty chemicals in the bread. They took out one of those chemicals, a dough softener, dough conditioner, that's used to help make bread soft and mushy and squishy. If you ever wondered how they do that with the bread, how they make their bread soft and squishy and chewy, you may want to read my blog post, which is up at pharmacistben.com. Okay, we are talking about this very, very important distinction between the surface of the body and connective tissue, or what I call the connective tissue, muscle tissue matrix, this meat of the body, the stuff of the body. The body's made up of 4 parts. We've been talking about these 4 parts. The matrix, the connective tissue muscle matrix, makes up the vast majority of the body. 90% or so of the body is this meat component. Then this meat component is wired with electricity, electrical wires. We call that nerve tissue. And then the whole thing is candy-coated with a surface tissue that's called epithelia. But the bulk of the body, 90% of the body, is this matrix, the connective tissue muscle tissue matrix, the steak, the meat. That's what steak is. Steak is the connective tissue muscle tissue matrix of a cow. When we eat meat, we're eating the connective tissue muscle tissue matrix of an animal. We don't eat the epithelia. We don't eat the surface. We don't eat the nervous tissue. We eat the bulk of the body, the bulk of an animal's body. And because we're made up mostly of this matrix, it should come as no surprise that This is the area where most disease takes place. If you are dealing with a degenerative disease crisis, if you're dealing with arthritis or autoimmune diseases or prolapses or uterine prolapse or ruptures or hernias, or you're basically wrinkles, accelerated aging, you're falling apart at this meat matrix level. And this is the area where we need to be focusing on. Focusing on the matrix, the connective tissue muscle matrix, should be the number one thing we do to slow down the disease process, to slow down the aging process, to reverse the disease process. And by the way, folks, there's not a single thing the medical model, i.e. your doctor, can do for you when you're breaking down at the connective tissue muscle tissue level. I want to say that in capitals with exclamation points, because the medical model will steal from you. It will rip you off. It will lie to you by telling you that you need to go to the doctor if you have an autoimmune disease or you have some kind of connective tissue problem or muscle tissue problem or accelerated aging. It's a lie. It's a ripoff. Doctors, you should be ashamed of yourself if you're telling people that they need to come to you if they're dealing with a connective tissue muscle tissue matrix. Aside from maybe giving them some nutritional advice or some advice to help them build this tissue, muscle tissue, connective tissue level. There's no surgery that can help you. There's no device that can help you. And there's no drug that can help you. But the good news is, as we've said for years on this program, is we don't need their help. We can do it ourselves. Now, we've been referring to the connective and muscle tissue as one complex, and they are a complex. It's meshed together. Connective tissue is wrapped around muscle tissue and vice versa. Connective tissue feeds muscle tissue. Muscle tissue grows connective tissue or stimulates the growth of connective tissue, but there are different tissue. Muscle is super cool. We'll be talking about muscle here in a little bit. Muscle works by, actually super cool how muscles work, how they contract and relax. Cells have little ratchets, literally little ratchets that kind of pull on each other, and that's how contraction and relaxation happens. It's unbelievably cool. But for now, I want to focus on the connective tissue aspect of the body. Connective tissue and muscle tissue form a matrix. About 90% of the body is this connective tissue muscle tissue matrix, and it's right around maybe 50-50 or so, maybe a little bit more muscle than connective tissue, maybe 55-45, something along those lines, but roughly about the same amount of connective tissue as muscle tissue. Connective tissue is just the way I look at it anyway, it's the most fascinating aspect of the body. Connective tissue is made up of cells and stuff, like everything else in the body, raisins and bread, cells and stuff. In the connective tissue, there's a lot more stuff than cells. There's a lot more bread than raisins, if you will. Although ultimately the raisins are making the bread, which in turn the bread then turns back and feeds and breathes and detoxifies the raisins. There's a little circle going on. The cells, the raisins, make the connective tissue stuff, and then the stuff feeds back and provides the cells with oxygen and with nutrients, and then detoxifies the cell. So it's got this circle going on. The cells are called fibroblasts. That means they make fiber. Fibro means fiber, obviously. Blast is a cell that makes things. So the cells in the connective tissue are called fibroblasts. They make the bread. The bread in the connective tissue is largely collagen with sugar. Collagen and sugar, not the sweet sugar. Collagen and proteoglycans or polysaccharides, long-chain sugars. This is why the Z radical is so helpful. It's a great source of long-chain sugars that make connective tissue stuff. That's what makes the Z radical such an amazing product for all health issues, all aging issues, all connective tissue issues. So you got the connective tissue stuff, the bread. And by the way, the connective tissue stuff also feeds the muscles, and it also feeds the nervous tissue. And for that matter, it also feeds the surface tissue. So this connective tissue stuff is really, really, really important. In fact, I would venture to say there's not a single disease that we deal with that doesn't have a connective tissue aspect or a connective tissue stuff aspect. The entire body is fed, it's breathed, and it's detoxified via connective tissue. Do you guys get that? That's so important. The entire body, every single cell from your scalp to your toenails, maybe not your nails, but to your toes, are fed and nourished and detoxified and oxygenated via connective tissue. That means the healthier the connective tissue is, the less likely every single degenerative disease is going to be, and the less likely accelerated aging is going to be. You think that makes connective tissue important? You better believe it does. In fact, I would venture to tell you that connective tissue, building connective tissue, is the single most important strategy you could ever use for anti-aging, for looking better, and for keeping disease at bay. And there's lots of ways to do it. We talked about a few of the ways to build connective tissue yesterday, and we'll continue when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. Our number is 855-660-4261. Try to get on board early so we get as many calls as possible. We're going to take a break and be right back. Don't go away.
So you've been listening to Pharmacist Ben and Dr. Wallach for a long time now, and you're wondering if longevity really works. Hi, my name is Adam. I'm an employee at GCN, and I've been using longevity products for over 2 years now. Call me today to hear my story at 612-695-5982. You too can lose weight, experience increased energy, and feel better about yourself and the future of your family. Call today, 612-695-5982. That's 612-695-5982.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Mike Stenerson for Midas Resources. At no time in history have precious metals been more important, certainly not in my 22 years in the industry. The dollar has lost over 90% of its value in the last 60 years. No fiat currency has ever survived the government printing presses. Ours is not immune. The time is now to be proactive. 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Anything tied to the dollar is at risk. CDs, annuities, 401ks, IRAs, stocks, bonds, you name it, so decide. Do you want to leave a legacy of wealth or debt for your family? The choice is yours. Call me at 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Be proactive, not reactive. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 116.
The freeze-dry guy, leader in the preparedness industry for 44 years, is closing his California warehouse. Don't miss out on this huge warehouse sale and receive discounts from 30 to 40% off on the finest Mountain House and Packaway brand freeze-dried and dehydrated foods for long-term food storage or even everyday use. Plus deep discounts on all in-stock survival gear. The Freeze-Dry Guy is offering a wide selection of freeze-dried foods in number 10 cans and even individually packaged entrees. Remember, meats, vegetables, fruits, and long-range patrol rations are the main components for any long-term food storage. This is limited to stock on hand, so hurry and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, as always, free shipping to the lower 48 states. So hurry up and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, this is limited to stock on hand. The Freeze-Dry Guy is your choice for survival food in an uncertain world.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
We are America's largest independently owned communications network, GCN.
All right, We're back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for joining us. Our number is 855-660-4261. We'll get your calls here in our next segment. If you want to join the Bright Side Ben team, love to have you on the team. 866-735-2470 is the phone number for the Bright Side Ben phone team. Tell them you want to start a business selling longevity products. Help me in my mission to educate the planet about the importance of a good nutritional supplement program. And tell them you want to get your products at the wholesale price for a one-time $10 fee. You can sign up. You can also head over to brightsideben.com and click on the Join the Team link. And somebody will get back to you with information. Okay, we're talking connective tissue, muscle tissue. Building connective tissue, in my opinion, is probably the single most important, or at least one of the most important things that you could do to reverse or prevent the aging process and to help strengthen the body and to reverse and prevent degenerative diseases as well as autoimmune diseases. This is where most autoimmune disease takes place. It takes place in the connective tissue. Most of it. And even if it's not taking place in the connective tissue directly, there's usually some kind of connective tissue involvement because the connective tissue is involved with detoxification, it's involved with nourishment, and it's involved with oxygenation of the entire body, head to toe. So how do you build connective tissue? Well, yesterday we talked about exercise. Weight-bearing exercise. This is very important. In fact, any kind of regular contraction and relaxation of muscles can activate the building of connective tissue. Yesterday, we talked about turkey neck, and we said that turkey neck, that swinging thing that happens on your neck as you get older, not everybody gets it, but it's kind of a strange phenomenon. Looks like a little turkey. Most of you guys know what I'm talking about. This is basically a connective tissue problem. Connective tissue breaks down and the skin hangs. Relaxing and contracting the neck muscles can really help. Do a Google search on YouTube or a YouTube search for exercises for turkey neck or yoga exercises for turkey neck, and you're going to get some good videos. All of these involve pulling, contracting, and relaxing the muscles that are around the neck and that are connected to the face. Kind of pull and contract, pull and contract. If you move your mouth upwards and kind of put your hands on your neck area, you'll feel how the muscles go up and down. If you keep doing that, if you do it a long time, contract it for a couple seconds and then relax it, contract and relax, you can help build the muscles and help prevent the formation of this unpleasant cosmetic superficial problem. It's not a health issue, but it's unpleasant from a cosmetic standpoint. When you understand the relationship between muscle tissue and connective tissue, you never have to be bored when you're waiting in line ever again, or you never have to be bored in rush hour traffic ever again. You can turn your car or you can turn the line at the bank into a great opportunity to do a workout. For example, you could do a great butt tightening workout by contracting and relaxing your gluteus maximus muscles, your butt muscles. You squeeze your butt tight and then relax it. Squeeze your butt tight and relax it. What you're doing is you're going to be building the muscle, and via these contractions and relaxations, you'll be building connective tissue and muscle tissue just as effectively as you would if you went to the gym or if you had a trainer while you're sitting there in rush hour traffic. You can do it, or while you're waiting in line anywhere, you could do it as well. And this is where understanding how the body is constructed and how it's put together can really, really help us. Everybody wants to have a nice tight butt. People spend a lot of money. You spend a lot of money at the gym, spend a lot of money with a trainer, but you don't need to. You could just contract and relax your glute muscles, and the connective tissue and muscle tissue will respond. And then nutrition is obviously important for building connective tissue, protein, essential fatty acids, amino acids like cysteine, which we'll be talking about here in a couple of days, or talking about for the next couple of days. Glutamine, which we've talked about for a couple of weeks. Glutamine, cysteine, protein, arginine, all of these can provide raw material for building connective tissue. The ingredients in Longevity's glucogel caps can be really helpful for building all connective tissue. People take it for arthritis. Well, connective tissue, joints and cartilage are connective tissue. Arthritis is a connective tissue disease. Why does glucosamine help it? It's a raw material for connective tissue. But it's not just a raw material for connective tissue in the joints. So if you take glucogel for your arthritis, you're going to get the raw materials to keep your connective tissue strong in your neck or in your butt or in your blood vessels or in your skin as well. This is where understanding how the body is constructed is so important. Glucogel caps will benefit you for anti-aging on your face. It will help you with your blood vessels. It'll help you with your connective tissue in your glutes. It'll help you with your connective tissue throughout your body. And of course, it'll help you for arthritis as well. All right, what else here? Eating. Eating is a great way to provide the raw material. Eating connective tissue is a great way to provide you with the basic building blocks, the raw material for building connective tissue. Eating connective tissue can be accomplished through bone soup. That's one of bone soup's great advantages. You're eating connective tissue. Bones are a type of connective tissue. The knobby stuff on the top of bones, the cartilage stuff on the top of bones, that's connective tissue. When we eat connective tissue, the raw materials for that connective tissue from the chicken or from the turkey or from the fish or from the meat get broken down into our body and provide us with raw materials for building our connective tissue. And then there's vitamin C, which is like a secret code, a trigger, or a fuse for activating the production of connective tissue. Scurvy, which everybody knows is the disease that's caused by vitamin C deficiency, is a connective tissue disease. It's when the connective tissue breaks down and we fall apart. Scurvy is probably one of the most horrible diseases that you could ever have. We don't have a lot of full-blown cases of scurvy because everybody's getting at least reasonably, at least a little bit of vitamin C. But if you took all the vitamin C out of your diet, your connective tissue would dissolve and you'd fall apart. And it's about the most horrible disease that you can think of. Now, even though there's not a lot of scurvy around, there may be subclinical scurvy. That is a type of scurvy that's not bad enough where you hemorrhage to death or you die, but maybe it's bad enough that you don't make enough connective tissue or you don't replace the connective tissue that's broken down. Maybe arthritis is a form of subclinical scurvy. Maybe aneurysms when blood vessels burst. Maybe that's a form of subclinical scurvy. Maybe just weak blood vessels are a form of subclinical scurvy. Maybe even wrinkles are a form of subclinical scurvy. Meaning, make sure you're getting enough vitamin C and not the ridiculous deprivation allowance, RDA levels of vitamin C, 60 milligrams a day. Are you kidding me? 60 milligrams a day, that's the amount of vitamin C that would be, that's like 1/10 of a teaspoonful of vitamin C powder. That's nothing. You need at least a gram of vitamin C a day, and you probably want to take 5 to 10 grams of vitamin C a day. And by the way, that's one of the neatest things about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is the fact that it's loaded with vitamin C as well as the B complex, which are water soluble. That's a very important point about vitamin C and the B complex for that matter, is the fact that if you're one of those people who doesn't supplement, chances are pretty darn good that every time you go to the bathroom, every time you urinate, you're losing vitamin C. Every time you urinate, you're reducing your vitamin C content in your body significantly enough that you could be running higher risks for degenerative disease. You got to replace the water-soluble nutrients, especially vitamin C, and especially if you're dealing with connective tissue health issues, especially if you want to have beautiful skin, by the way. Nothing is more important for keeping your skin healthy and beautiful and anti-aged and youthful and wrinkle-free than working on the skin connective tissue. Youthful skin is largely about connective tissue for that matter. And when we stimulate the skin, and there's a lot of ways to stimulate the skin, exercise the skin, if you will, we can prevent wrinkles, crow's feet, and all the other visible signs of aging. There's topical strategies for exercising the skin matrix, for exercising the connective tissue. It's not quite the same as regular exercise, but there are ways that you can literally, in effect, exercise the connective tissue using topical skincare strategies. And I'll tell you what I mean as we continue our discussion on building connective tissue for anti-aging. You're listening to The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with your phone calls and more good health information. Don't go away.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Are you hungry for delicious, nutritious, rich, and satisfying home-cooked meals? Discover the Vita Clay 4-in-1 Smart Organic Cooker. Unglazed Zisha Clay, an ancient secret that makes this fast multi-cooker so special. Infusing your food with incredible flavors, perfect texture, vitamins, and minerals for your good health. It's a slow cooker, rice cooker, a steamer, plus a yogurt maker. Go to VitaClayChef.com and enter promo code RADIO20 for 20% off at checkout. That's VitaClayChef.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
By now, you may have heard a bit about Bitcoins, but did you know Bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know bidbit.co. Why? Because bidbit.co is where you can easily receive Bitcoins by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for Bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your products and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at bidbit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit Escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at bidbit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co, bidbit.co.
You pick up the receiver with your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead. You finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the host you're listening to right now, online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
A little right, a little left, but always independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network, GCN.
We are back on the bright side. Pharmacist Ben here. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on the archive page at brightsideben.com. You'll find a shopping cart up there as well as a Join the Team link that you can click on if you want to start a longevity business. Join me in my mission to educate the planet about the importance of a nutritional supplement program, make some money, and get your products at the wholesale price too. I also want to encourage you to check out my blog, pharmacistben.com. I've got a post hopefully up today, maybe tomorrow, on bread. Actually, on ingredients in bread. I'm reading an article from foodnavigator.com. This is a food news website. Apparently, the headlines anyway, Global Bread launches a shift away from functional claims. You know that bread manufacturers love making their bread sound like it's healthy. They call it functional bread. They add stuff to the bread to make it functional, or they take stuff out of the bread to make it functional, to make it useful, if you will. Functional foods are supposedly foods that have extra value. They're functional in terms of their use. And there's a category of breads called functional breads, according to this website, foodnavigator.com. There's two kinds of functional bread. You got active functional bread, and that's functional bread that has stuff added to it, stuff like DHA, omega-3 fatty acids added to the bread. They also have a passive functional bread. That's bread that has functionality based on stuff that's taken out of the bread. Gluten-free bread is an example of passive bread. Listen, folks, there's no such thing as healthy bread. There's healthier bread, maybe. There's bread that's healthier than crappy bread, but in the long run, you don't need bread. It's not the staff of life. It doesn't serve you well. If you like the taste of bread, that's different, but don't ever consider it to be a health food, even though if you do it right, you may be able to get some fiber out of it and some health value out of it. But for the most part, you don't really need bread or pasta or any kind of processed flour products. And if you're trying to lose weight, you should absolutely be staying away from bread and pasta and cereal and any kind of processed food. Nothing is more irritating to me in the world of health and nutrition than food manufacturers of cereal products and bread products trying to claim that their foods are healthy. Whether you like them or not, that's different. But the fact of the matter is there's very little health value to Total or Cheerios or Kellogg's Special K or bread for that matter. If you like bread, take your slice of bread and chew it. Make sure it's got a lot of fiber in it, first of all, and chew it really, really slowly. And you'll find that the more slowly you chew your bread, the more slowly you chew your food in general, the less you're going to eat, but especially with bread. Okay, you can read about that at pharmacistben.com. And tomorrow we'll continue talking about connective tissue. We'll talk about ways that you can strengthen the skin connective tissue, which is really the way you want to address skin health issues, especially anti-aging skin health issues. All right, time to hit our phones. 855-660-4261 is our number. John in Texas, what's going on? Good morning and welcome to the Bright Side.
Nice to hear your voice again, Ben.
Thank you, John. What's going on?
Sure enough. You know, I have what I don't know what the name would be, but it's either a mole or it is. It started out as a little round circle, skin color, and then sometimes it grew and sometimes it went back down. I went to the doctor, and they said, "Don't worry about it." My home doctor said, "Just go to the drugstore and get something to burn it off." And I was trying to knock it out with aloe vera and other things, but it seems like it's not going away. I started banging it because...
banging it? What do you mean banging it? With a hammer? What are you banging it with?
By accident. I'm in the tree business, and, I would just knock it. So I started bandaging it. But that...
You're trying to rip the thing off, huh? You're just trying to smash that thing down, right? Is it raised? Is it a raised mole?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I kind of know what you're talking about. Let me ask you a couple questions real quickly, and I don't mean to. I'm just curious here. I don't want to rip on you. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. Why would you put aloe vera on there? I want to know your thinking process, your thought process when you put the aloe vera on.
Aloe vera seems to make skin orthodox once it's burned.
Make skin what?
Orthodox. Change back to where it was.
What's that word you're saying?
Orthodox.
It makes skin orthodox.
Yeah, meaning that it looks like it was originally. In other words, if you have a burn,
okay. It heals the skin, has a healing power, is what you're saying?
I should say that, yeah.
Okay, got it. So you're thinking that the aloe vera might help heal the mole. Is that what? And I'm not being mean. I don't mean to attack you. I'm just kind of curious to know what your thought process was. So you're thinking that the aloe vera kind of helped the mole heal. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it may be silly, but
no, I didn't mean. I didn't want to go there. I was just curious to know what you were thinking. I didn't mean to imply anything that you were silly or anything like that. Okay, so here's the deal. Moles are not part of the connective tissue. They're part of the surface of the skin, which is the epithelia. Just think of it like the coating on top of the skin. A mole is a growth. It means cells are not dividing correctly. This process of how cells grow is so complicated, and it involves so many different steps, and so many things have to go right that it's really miraculous that it even happens at all. But oftentimes, skin tags and what are called keratoses and other terms like litigines and moles, all of these things are signs that that the skin cells are not dividing correctly. Period. End of story. Now, if you have some dark, if the mole is dark, it may involve pigment cells as well. Typically, moles do involve pigment cells. In any case, between pigment cells and skin cells, you've got cells that are not dividing correctly. Anytime cells are not dividing correctly, you're dealing with some kind of inflammation. It's not the inflammation of a black eye or a broken leg or a sprained ankle. It's microscopic inflammation. Remember, a cell is microscopic. That means it's invisible. It's so small you can't see it. Picture in your mind's eye the head of a pin. Divide that head of a pin up by 100 times or so. 1/100th the head of a pin is roughly the size of a typical cell. That's really small. And when you have inflammation around that area, everything gets thrown off. And one of the things that gets thrown off is how cells divide and grow. If it involves pigment cells, you're going to end up with a mole. So a mole is a sign that cells are not dividing correctly. This involves, number one, inflammation at the level of the skin, at the level of the surface of the skin. It may involve some inflammation at the level of the connective tissue too. And then also it involves changes at the juncture, the interface, the connecting point between the cells and the matrix, or the raisins and the bread. The skin cells and the bread, the raisins and the bread, the skin cells and the matrix, that little juncture, which is the cell membrane, is somehow disturbed. So there's a disturbance basically where the raisins are sitting in the bread. Does that make sense? Did I explain that okay? Because I'm going to tell you what to do, but I want you to understand the mechanism. There's a disturbance where at that juncture where the raisins are interfacing with the bread. Is that it?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Understand. I'm
okay,
doing
good.
a lot
Perfect.
of things for digestion. So.
Well, okay, then you knew you're reading my mind, because that's always the first thing to do is the digestive system. Usually, when you have a disturbance at that raisin bread, where the raisins are sitting in the bread, at the raisin and bread juncture, you're looking at a fat problem. That means fatty vitamins, essential fatty acids as well, and perhaps fatty nutrients from vegetables. Now, when you have a fat problem, you either have a fat problem in terms of intake of fats. That means you're not getting enough through your diet, or absorption of fat. So you're on the right track, my friend. You want to focus on fat digestion. This is true for any skin health problem, be it moles, be it keratoses, be it acne, be it milia, whatever your surface skin problem is, the first thing you want to do is focus on fats, intake, and absorption. So using the digestive enzymes from Youngevity, Ultimate Enzymes, pancreatin can help. Lecithin after meals, very, very important. You might also want to throw in bile salt. If you notice that you're having digestive problems with specific foods, those are important clues for you. And you want to focus on what those foods are, and you can eliminate those foods, or you can start to work on helping your body process those foods. So number one, focus on fat absorption and digestion. Hang tight, and I'll tell you a couple other things that you can do for that. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this.
Dr. Wallach has been warning us for decades to take control of our health care and our food supply. Go Foods and Dr. Wallach's Youngevity have partnered to help you be prepared. Members of Youngevity can now buy Go Foods directly from their personal store. If not yet a member, call 800-648-9753 or on the web at www.storefoodnow.com to get special member pricing. That's 800-648-9753 or www.storefoodnow.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
So we decided to upgrade the look of our home.
You know, improve the curb appeal.
We decided to add the look of stone to the exterior.
We really like the stacked stone look.
Yeah, but when I checked into the price, it was ridiculous. No way could we afford it.
Then a friend told me about Genstone. Genstone.
Genstone comes in lightweight panels made of polyurethane. They've actually engineered the hassle out of installation. No mortar, no mesh. It was easy. Even I could do it.
We just screwed the panels to the wall and it looks like stone. stone. I mean, it really looks like stone.
Yeah, from the box to the wall in minutes.
We love the look of our home now.
And Genstone is durable, comes with a 25-year warranty, and offers additional R-value for insulation.
If you want the look of stone at a price you can afford, call Genstone
at 855-955-STONE.
Trust me, you'll save money.
And you'll love the look.
855-955-STONE. That's 855-955-7866.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective. Independently leading the way for the nation. Compelling talk for every political persuasion. We are GCN.
All right, we are back on the bright side. John in Texas. I'm going to go quickly, and I apologize for that, but I hate leaving folks on hold, and we got full board here. So, John, are you there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so number one, focus on fats and fat absorption. And for the listeners, any kind of topical skin issue, that's the first thing you want to do is fats and fat absorption. Absorption, as we said before the break, lecithin, bile salts, Youngevity's ultimate enzymes, pancreatin can help, apple cider vinegar after meals. Those all help you with fat absorption, and then using smaller amounts of fatty foods will help too. Then make sure you're getting your fatty nutrients, and it's probably a good idea to take your fatty nutrients with fatty foods and all of the aforementioned absorption aids. I would be using vitamin A, 20,000 international units. In fact, I would take 30,000 international units a day, John. Vitamin A has a really important relationship to the way skin cells grow, and you may be experiencing some vitamin A deficiencies, especially if you're not supplementing. You may want to use topical vitamin A also in the retinoic acid form. Retin A is the brand name of that. And then also vitamin D, and best place to get vitamin D is from the sun. And believe it or not, a little bit of sun would probably help you, although you don't want to burn. And then if you want to take your vitamin D in supplemental fashion, use about 5,000 to 10,000 international units of vitamin D3 a day. Somebody just told me Mary Lou Henner's got a vitamin D3 product. You might want to check that out. In any case, a little vitamin D is going to help you. 400 international units of vitamin E can be very helpful. And then also make sure you're using topical vitamin C, especially in its fatty format. That would be very healing, way better than aloe vera is great stuff. Don't get me me wrong, I love aloe vera, but topical vitamin C is much more effective for helping protect the skin, much more effective than aloe vera. It'll also protect your skin from the sun, and it will also help accelerate the healing process. If you wanted to burn the thing off, see if you can get and I can't tell you that would help you because I can't see the mole, but if you did want to burn it off, you can have a pharmacist make 70% glycolic acid for you, and then you can apply that and then put your topical vitamin C on right on top of the after you use the glycolic acid, and that'll help speed up the healing process. So lots of ways that you can go. I would be focusing, number one, on the digestive system, and you're very bright to be doing that. I forgot about the Biolumin Nightly Essence. That can also help with fat absorption. And then, of course, the Mighty 90 is always a great idea. You're sipping on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. But fats. That's what you want to focus on when it comes to all skin health issues, moles included. And thanks for your call. Appreciate it very much, John. Anything else going on? Got to move on if that's it.
I have a closed brain injury.
You know what? There's a lot of stuff that has to do with that, but basically you want to focus on inflammatory issues. Closed brain injuries involve inflammation inside the cranium, the skull, and so you want to make sure that you're keeping your intake of inflammatory foods down. That's the most important strategy. And then anti-inflammatory nutrition is also important. Essential fatty acids, omega-3s are very anti-inflammatory. Youngevity's Ultimate EFA can be helpful for you there. The vitamin C and vitamin E. Vitamin C, vitamin E are the two most anti-inflammatory vitamins, and essential fatty acids as well are very anti-inflammatory. And don't forget OPC selenium. Selenium's got some nice anti-inflammatory and pro-immune system properties too. Thanks so much for your call, John, and I apologize for letting you go, but I want to get to as many calls as possible here. John in Michigan, what's going on? Welcome to the bright side.
Well, thank you, Ben. First, lysine and cold sores. It seems to help them heal quickly. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can give me the background on that. Yeah. And then also so-called liver spots. I think you talked about vitamin E helping minimize those.
Well, yeah. Let's talk about, let's real quickly. Lysine competes with an amino acid that the herpes virus uses called arginine. Lysine helps by competing with arginine. It kind of robs the cold sore viruses of the nutrients they need to grow. So using lysine on a regular basis can help minimize the appearance of cold sores, but you don't really want to look at cold sores as being a cold sore problem as much as it's an immune system problem. Yeah, cold sores are unpleasant, and the virus it's an unpleasant virus, and it's an unpleasant cosmetic kind of thing. But really what you're dealing with when you have cold sores, you're dealing with a suppressed immune system. The immune system is the defense system, obviously, and that's supposed to take care of viruses. If you're getting cold sores, you'll notice that you're either under some kind of stress or some kind of burden in your life, or you've got some kind of nutritional deficiency or digestive problem that's impacting how you absorb nutrients. One way or another, you've got an impaired digestive system. So, yeah, lysine can help you, and it's probably a good idea to take 100 milligrams every day, or maybe even 200 milligrams, or loading up on lysine as soon as you feel the little tingle that tells you you're going to get a cold sore. Maybe take 500 milligrams of lysine every hour, every 2 hours, really pounding yourself with lysine. Sometimes that helps. But really you want to focus on immune system building to keep cold sores at bay. Vitamin C and selenium are two spectacular nutrients for keeping cold sores away. High doses of vitamin C and maybe around 600 micrograms of the OPC selenium. As far as your brown spots go, we're going to be talking a lot about brown spots. I actually did a post on The Truth. By the way, I have a website called The Truth with Ben, and that's a Facebook site, not a website, but a Facebook page, actually, a Facebook page called The Truth with Ben, where I post skincare tips. So if you're interested in checking that out, it's called The Truth with Ben. It's on Facebook, and that's my skincare page. Many of you know I'm in the skincare business, been in the skincare business for a long time, and I started a page, and I'm going to be blogging on and posting on various skincare issues. The next post will be up on hopefully today or tomorrow, and it'll be on brown spots, actually. There's two kinds of brown spots. You've got the kind of brown spots that involve pigment, and then you got the kind of brown spots that involve dead cells. Now, the dead cell brown spots are much more troubling because when you have dead cell brown spots, and by dead cell I mean cell debris, you really have a drainage problem. You have a detoxification issue. Your body's not detoxifying and cleaning waste materials out. And the reason this is so significant is because if you have these kinds of things on the skin, you got them in the brain and you got them in the heart too. And that's really where it's a problem. So the skin is kind of a barometer or a window of what's happening in your brain and your heart. These brown spots are distinct from pigment. They're called lipofuscin, Lipofuscin, lipofuscin. And this is the kind of brown spots that appear deeper in the skin, and they look kind of like a geographical or a map kind of thing. They're sort of spread out. Older people will get them on their hands. This is not the same as pigment brown spots. Pigment brown spots appear as more on the surface of the skin, and they look darker. The lipofuscin don't look quite as dark. So assuming that you're talking about melanin or pigment and not lipofuscin is a completely different issue. The way you want to deal with these kinds of brown spots is with your adrenal glands. Cortisol, and this is so important, you guys. Pigmentation is connected to stress. Hyperpigmentation is part of the stress response. Do you know your pigment cells are actually nerve cells, and they're actually connected to the brain? They're actually related, not connected to, but related to the brain. And when the brain perceives stress, it will turn on the entire stress response in the body, which will cause high blood pressure. It'll cause blood clotting. It'll cause problems with breathing. It'll cause constipation and digestive shutdown, and it will cause hyperpigmentation. So assuming that's what you're talking about, John, number one, you want to focus on the adrenal glands using zinc, using vitamin C, and keeping your intake of sugars down, reducing your intake of refined sugars, and keeping off of that high blood sugar, low blood sugar roller coaster that we're always talking about. Another thing that you could do if you've got pigment problems and adrenal problems that are associated with that is use pregnenolone, 100 milligrams a day. I love pregnenolone, or progesterone can sometimes help, progesterone cream, especially if you're a woman and you're dealing with periods problems, menstrual problems, and you have hyperpigmentation. Then you really want to start focusing on progesterone, because estrogen is a major stress hormone along with cortisol. And then in addition to all of that, you can use some topical strategies. If you go to the doctor, you'll get something called hydroquinone, which is really nasty stuff. I don't recommend it. Alternatively, topical vitamin C in its fat-soluble, fatty format can help with lightening pigmentation, lightening dark spots. Alpha hydroxy acids from wine or from vinegar or from lemon juice, or even just straight glycolic acid can help. And then retinoic acid, Retin-A, can also be helpful if you use it just a little bit. Retin-A is just a wonderful supplement for the skin. It helps build connective tissue, and it can also help peel the skin a little bit. Head over to the Truth with Ben, and you'll see a post up there on dark spots, brown spots on the skin. Got to let you go. I appreciate your call, John, and I want to see if I can get one more in. Latifa in Missouri. What's up? How you doing?
Hi, I'm totally fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. We got about a minute. How can I help you?
Okay, I am 41. Just found out I am 9 weeks pregnant.
Congratulations.
I also have, thank you so much. I'm excited. Awesome. But I also
first
have
baby?
fibroid tumors. This is my very first pregnancy ever.
Okay, let's get you straight now.
Tumors. I didn't think I could have children at all.
Okay, fibroids are a sign of excess estrogen. Estrogen is a birth control, and that's probably why you didn't think you could have babies. You know what, Latifa? I want to help you out a lot. I don't want to help you out just in the 30 seconds that we have. Is there any way, I hate to do this to you, but I wonder if I get you a call tomorrow. We'll get you first up, and then I'll give you the whole scoop, and we can help a lot of people too. Can you do that, Latifa?
I would love to.
Awesome.
I would love to, yes.
Make sure you say, Latifa, make sure you tell our call screener that we left you on hold, and I'll get you first up, okay?
Okay, thank you so much, Ben.
Thank you. Congratulations. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, folks. Again, I apologize if I left you on hold. Call tomorrow, and we'll get you first up when we take our calls. Check out my blog, pharmacistben.com. Check out my homepage, brightsideben.com, especially if you want to join the Brightside Ben team. Click on the Join the Team link, or you can call the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470. I'm Pharmacist Ben. This has been The Brightside. We will talk to you all later. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Bye for now.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Attention listeners, SurvivalLife.com is giving away free EverStrike permanent matches for a limited time only. These matches are waterproof and will light in any weather condition, rain, snow, or sleet. It will still throw a spark. Its built-in ferro rod strikes at 3,000 degrees, and it is good for 15,000 strike. Normally, $15. Today, it's free. Get yours at freewaterproofmatch.com. Again, that's freewaterproofmatch.com. Hurry, supplies are limited. Visit freewaterproofmatch.com today.
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates. 1-800-425-4610.